Alright, welcome back to another edition of Here's a Knife Worth More Than My House, or A Knife Worth More Than My House, or something to that effect. I can't remember what the last one was called, but this is episode 2. I've got a few knives laid out right here. I've owned some of the big manufacturers, some of the custom makers. I always wanted, and have always wanted to get a Strider knife. I've been looking at those for a while, to the extent that I broke the primary rule and I bought secondary, not from China, a knockoff. This is a actually pretty well put together knockoff. I'll get back to that in a second. And I want to buy one of these now. I mean, that's kind of the whole point. I wanted to see what the feel was in my hand, the ergonomics of it and whatnot, and so there you go. This is a Strider, but it's not a Strider like that. It is a Strider turned all the way up to 11. And there's a few details on there that will make you understand that. First of all, if you see early on, looks like I got a wicked... There we go, if I can get around that. That right there says CPM 3V. And it's etched in there. It's etched in there by hand by a gentleman named Duane Dwyer. So this is a custom Duane Dwyer, excuse me, Strider knives. He also customizes his signature right down there by the end of the blade. No other maker's marks on there. No flying penis. Still don't get that, but it's kind of funny. Actually, I do. I did the research and the whole virility. And anyway. Okay, so I have a few initial impressions of this knife. First, the blade on it is wicked cool. I like it. It's a flat grind, or flat, what's it called? Saber grind? I think it's a saber grind where they only grind the one side. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. That side's flat. That side's flat there. And then they get this really neat multi-grind here, where the top almost makes it come to a spear point. The top is reminiscent of a swedge. I don't know if you can see that. Just a decorative swedge. And then it carries on that pointy arrowhead looking motif there, and it's got another angle to that. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Kind of gives it the Tanto look, but it actually is, that's sharp. That's just a nice round belly there. In hand, one thing that is a real big plus in my eyes, many ways you can choke up on it big time with the forward choil here. If you really need to get in and do some dirty work, you can choke back if you want to reach out and touch someone. Now the guy this is not my knife, the friend of mine that I borrowed this from in order to do this review, he's a pretty big guy and he's got a pretty tall guy, he's got a pretty big set of hands. He was mentioning to me, that this little bit here at the back of the butt of the knife fits perfectly into the meat of his hand, and just gives him what he feels like is a real authority holding that knife. And, if you're, God forbid, you're in a fight, going at someone like this, or like this, I don't know. To me, it seems more natural to go at someone like this and do a lot more damage. And I'm sure that's probably where they were going with this. The company was actually founded and operated. It's operated by former military personnel. Their first goal when they put everything together, they wanted to provide field service knives for special operations, all kinds of different special ops guys in the military. They wanted to get feedback from them, put them in the field, get feedback from them, and help them design basically the perfect field knife. They feel that they'd met that. They started their company back in 96 or 92. I can't quite remember. I think it was 96 that I was reading about. And the cool part was that after they'd met their goal with making the military knives, they found, wow, there's a burgeoning market for people buying custom you know, high dollar custom tactical knives and stuff like that. You know, the steels that they use, they start out when they started the company with ATS4. That's the one that sticks in my mind. What were some of the others? They still use S30V, CPM S30V N. This is 3 CPM 3V, so it's a crucible steel, and that is a hard mother. That right there gets way up down the Rockwell. It's going to keep that. It's going to keep that wicked sharpness for a lot longer time. This is one of those exotic steels that you hear about. I'm trying to get a good macro here. I'm sorry. Just trying to focus in on that. I'm going to cut myself in this review. I know it. Come on, come on. I almost wasn't able to get this stupid thing on at all. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, that's a little bit better. You see that angle there? Jimping on it's really good. It's big. It's aggressive, but it's not tear you up aggressive. I mean, it's right what you need when you need to, you know, lock that puppy in. And for, like I said, heaven forbid, have to stab someone. You don't want to take some of your meat with it. Now, I will say, going back to this generic one here, they almost are identical. The steels are crap on this one. The tolerances are shitty. Oh, pardon my language. It's a family show. And the jimping is a rolling mound of joke. It's haha. That's not going to jimp you anywhere. Maybe the plastic or the G10 back here. Maybe. Don't waste your money on these, though, especially not from China. We don't know where that funding's coming from as far as terrorism and stuff like that. They use cheap clone stuff that they know Americans can't get enough of, and they get in on the terrorists themselves. They get in on these markets. They flood the American market with this cheap, you know, gear, and basically Americans who are like you and me, very patriotic, are inadvertently funding terrorism. So that's no joke. That's the real deal. This, on the other hand, at the other end of the spear, is what's killing terrorists, because this is a kick-ass military knife. Now, to get into a Strider SNG, you're looking at about $500. This is a custom Dwyer, so this is not a production knife. This is one that he custom made. It does the stuff by hand. That makes the price go up. Anytime you do that, you're looking at, you know, custom build. It's going to jack the price up. The cheapest one I saw that was similar to this, and it seems like no two are alike either, was right around $1,100. So it's not cheap to get in on it, but it is a custom knife, and it's a tank of a custom knife. Let me go over some of the specs here. Let's see. It is a 3.5-inch blade. It is 8 inches overall. The machined contoured G10 is what you got up top here. Right there. Oh, this is just really irking me. My camera setup, or tripod, broke. And so I'm having to make something that's not working too well, obviously. So, anyway. Kind of got the Mayo looking lines there. On the inside, oh, you got your over travel stop pin right there, a la Hinderer. Real subtle pocket clip there. Huge pivot, and that's to keep that fixed blade style or fixed blade strength is what they're looking for. And one thing I did notice with this is the lockup is super late. On most knives, you'll see lockup like, wow, you'll see lockup in like the 15 to 20, 25, sometimes 50%. Now, when you take this out, it's still breaking in too, which is kind of worrisome. You're at darn near 100% lockup. I don't know if you can see it in there. Let me get my flashlight. Hold on. It almost looks like that pivot or that detent ball is getting close to getting close at least to hitting that other scale. And I don't know if that's problematic or what that's going to be. It's rock solid and there's no wiggle up or down. I mean, it's in there and it ain't going anywhere, but it doesn't have a lot of room to break in. So I hope that's not an issue. But I do know it's a Strider at its heart. These knives aren't cheap. If for whatever reason that became an issue, my buddy could send that back to Strider through Duane Dwyer and have him. I'm sure he would love to fix that up and have a happy customer. That gives you a good idea of the saber grind there. So that's this week's worth more than my blades worth more than my house. I've got one of my other ones here, and then I've got. Okay, this is not worth more than my house. But if you put these three together, these zero tolerances, it'd be worth more than my house. So now I'm cheating, I know. Anyway, this knife is great. I got to get it back to my buddy, and I just want to let him know. He doesn't want to be mentioned on here, his name or anything, but I just want him to know publicly that him being my source material for this stuff is just awesome, because I know he's got quite a few more knives in there that I can bring in for my guest blade knives worth more than my house. There you go. If you have any questions or if there's something I missed that you think is interesting, pop it into the comments. You know, give it a thumbs up so I can keep doing these. It's fun. I work 3 jobs, so it's kind of, you know, when I get my spare time, I do it. I do appreciate all my subscribers. I'm up to like 140 now. My knife giveaway is right around the corner. I've got a lot of new subscribers, and the knife that's going out is going to be this one, and it'll be going out probably sometime this week because I'm getting a good response on that, and I'll do the drawing. My daughter will help me out, and we'll make sure it's done right and get that drawing out to you. All right, everybody. Love them Striders. Check them out. Peace. Yeah, give up. Bye.